Welcome to another edition of Markets Hunters. I am your host, Hunter Gaylor, coming to you live today with John Lai, the CEO of PETV. Their stock symbol is PETV. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news, John, and it's great to have you on the program. And I want to dive right in because there is some exciting news. You have added some more people as the senior research director. There's a lot of news, so I'm going to give you the floor and kind of have you dive into it because I think there's some really incredible stuff going on.
Well, thank you, Hunter. So, 2 weeks ago, literally had all the employees fly into Minneapolis. We wanted to introduce everybody as well as go over what we have done the last year, all the systems that are in place, and also let the salespeople and the veterinary doctors know about the types of processes we have in place in production, how we meet human medical device standards, how we send out statistical sampling of each lot of syringes to two independent human laboratories where they do certification for sterility and everything. So the probability of having any issues with these syringes are like almost zero. So it makes the salespeople comfortable, it makes the vets comfortable, and obviously, when we hired Tom Yarbrough as director of research, he knows all that. But it was good to have him also tell the salespeople and the rest of the team. So he has a tremendous reputation in the marketplace. He's chief of surgery at Dubai Animal Hospital. They handle all the royal family's horses, the most expensive horses in the world. He's the chief surgeon. So he's with us now.
Right there, that right there is a big deal. If people of that level are actually the ones that are entrusting a person like that, that's a testament to obviously what you're doing at PetVivo and the spring product and the legitimacy of the product as well.
Yeah, and if you see it, the news release, his quote, he says, I'm always one of the last to adopt any new technologies. So I'm basically adopting this technology. So, if I'm saying it's okay, it should be okay for everybody else. And then the other vet that we hired is Dr. Maureen Dower. She 22 years at Zoetis Animal Health. She was involved in many aspects of product launches, adverse events, and so on. So it was really exciting to have her contact us too, wanting to join the company. And I think she did an interview where she said, you know, I wasn't even familiar with Pet Vivo until one of our top sales reps and one of my favorite sales reps jumped to Pet Vivo. I called her up and she was telling me about the product. I did more research, and the next thing I know, I reached out to you guys and you hired us. You hired me, and so we're excited to have her on board too. So we have 5 technical service vets in house, so we can really handle the demand. But we're really excited going forward because we updated the whole management team, all the employees of the various catalysts that we have coming up in the next 6 months. We basically have 6 additional studies that should be completed or at least have an abstract out where we're able to do presentations on it by the end of this year. So what that does is allows us to diversify from our current revenue mix. Because right now, 90% of our revenue are in the equine space. There's about 10 million horses in the United States. We started to get small animal data out. First one came about 7 weeks ago. I think we're going to have about 3 of them, not just within small animal, or not just within the dogs, but also in felines. 3 of them should be out in September. So that's a pretty big month for us. So that now all of a sudden you open up canine, which has 83 million dogs in the United States, and then you open up feline, which is like 60 million cats within the United States. So now you can see we're really positioned for strong growth going forward. And these are exciting catalysts because we're pretty comfortable the data is going to be very strong. Uh, we don't get to see the data, but given the fact that like the feline study is already said they're going to publish in one of the top feline magazines, and you don't publish if it's bad data. They get to see it.
Right, right, exactly. Well, you don't want the bad data, and of course, we've seen the dog study come out, and it's been remarkable to see the results. Because you're so powerful in the equine space, are you starting to see the growth in the dog space, and as a result of these studies and these veterans or veterinarians that you're bringing in,
Yeah,
veterans in the space?
yeah. So since that study came out, we're seeing new vets. So the interesting thing is, I try to tell people the adoption time for small animals is longer, much longer than equine. So what happens is these vets will order like 2 syringes on their first order and to try it out, which makes tremendous sense. But the animals they're going to try it out on are animals they have used everything else and nothing's worked. Okay, so we're getting the most difficult case in the world, and we're getting results. So then they see how long it lasts. Because that's the other criteria. Because there's a lot of things you can do really short term for like 30 days that may look like it's working, but it's only masking the problem. Keep in mind these particles are going right into the joint, forming a scaffolding. So we're addressing the root cause of the problem, which is bone on bone contact. So it takes a little more time, but these are high value customers. So the key metrics I always tell people is how many new account first time orders you're getting every month. And those are looking pretty good. And we'll probably, address it in one of the future calls, earnings calls.
Well,
And because I want to use that as a metrics going
right.
forward.
Right. No, and I think adding on that point, I think when we look at it from a shareholder perspective, as long as we continue to see positive growth, quarter over quarter, year over year, I mean, it's just a matter of acquiring market share. And obviously, with Amerisourcebergen, and some of these other strategic, joint ventures and things that you're getting into, and the testaments that you have from the equestrian space, I think it's going to continue to show. It's going to be very interesting. We're waiting for the feline study to come out, obviously, because cats show different pain tolerances, as in some of our conversations with the veterinarians. So you really have to monitor how they're doing, right, from an observation
Yeah.
perspective. So,
Yeah.
so
And the good thing is, Zoetis is doing a great job on educating the cat owner on how to identify red flags for potential osteoarthritis. So it's helping everybody. And Zoetis history has been to educate the consumers to grow market. So it's a win-win for everybody because they're growing the market for all of us.
Well, no, I think that's great. And, John, just kind of like, we're doing a quick market update today, obviously, because there's a lot of things going on. And I know that you're going to be coming out with some more news and things, over really rapidly the next couple of weeks and months. And so we're going to obviously keep going on that. But, from a revenues perspective, are we planning on exceeding revenues? Can you give us a little hint there?
We have made we have always said we don't give the guidance on the revenues. And I've always said in my history of being involved with companies, when you're launching a disruptive technology, you're going to have high volatility. And that's why I'm going to probably add the metrics for future calls, how many new vet clinics every month we're getting, because you're planting the seed for high revenue business because the value of the lifetime of that customer is quite high.
Right, and I think that when we go back and we look at it from a market perspective, that's a good indicator of the fact that more and more vets are, utilizing the product, and then because these vets are actually joining your company from a research and development perspective, that's a testament that they're going to keep, sharing this type of technology with the veteran or the entire veterinarian community. So I think
Yep.
that's an incredible way to look at the company. And I think when we look at the earnings, when they come out, and of course we look at the volume of the stock, that's what's incredible here, because it's about the eyeballs on this, and it's about people looking at it and hearing the story of what's going on. So a lot of really great stuff going on, John. It's always great to have you on the program to talk about this. Now, while we have you, is there anything else that you feel that you want that's relevant information for our viewers?
I really think there's a lot happening in the next 6 months. And, just keep an eye on the news releases, and as more studies come out doing the validation, and it gives our salespeople, the MWI, AmerisourceBergen salespeople, ammo to show the efficacy and the product and cost advantages of using our product over anything else that's out there, I think will just bode well for us going forward. We take a really long-term perspective. It's customer acquisition. I'm not that concerned about quarter-to-quarter fluctuations because eventually you're going to grab market share.
Well, no, exactly. And I think the way that the Market Hunter platform works and the way that we look at it from an investment perspective, we're always that 3 to 5 year hold, right? It's the buy and hold. We're looking at the long term growth of the company. These are emerging market companies. As you said, very apropos, these are disruptive technologies. So not only is it proving out the actual efficacy of the product, but also the results of the product. We saw that clearly that you were able to do that in the equine space. We're seeing that through the endorsements we're now getting in the dog space. Now we're going to be seeing it in the feline space. So this is conservative growth over growth that we're seeing happen, especially from a development side. So that's how we look at it. We don't endorse, we endorse the 3 to 5 year buy and hold model for a lot of the companies we identify and the leadership that we talk to. Because we want to see it grow. We think that's the right model to actually, participate and get real shareholder value over the long period of time. So I'm definitely in agreement that we're going to be following this over the long period of time. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, and our viewing audience across LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram and all the different social medias that platforms that are out there. We're coming to Roku very soon. Obviously, it's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, all the podcast locations. So if you missed this, go tune back, share this with your colleagues and your friends. Listen to John and his update. Follow the stock. Their symbol is PETV. John, as always, it's such a pleasure to have you, and it's always great talking to you. And I'm just really happy for the innovation that's coming on. As an animal owner, I can tell you it's things like this that are the natural products that I'm a believer in. So it's really exciting thing. So John, thank you so much as always.
Thank you, Hunter.
Take care. Thank you, everyone, and make sure to tune in for the next Markets Hunter when we come to you live.